What's up, you guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about trusting God even when it hurts. If you've ever been in a situation where you were trusting God in something, for something, through something, but it left you disappointed or discouraged or let down or even sad, right? Sometimes it even leaves you sad. We're going to be talking about how do you persevere? How do you get through that? How do you trust God even when it hurts? So let's get into it. So there are a lot of times when we're going to go through something in life and it's going to be super difficult. And that's putting it simply and that's putting it lightly, but there are going to be situations, hardships, trials that we are all going to go through. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And in those moments that we're navigating through life and we're on our individual journeys, there's going to be some things that we're going to be believing God for, right? Because there are some expectations that we have in life. There are some desires that we have. There's some wants that we have, right? Even some needs that we feel like we have. And we are trusting that God's going to fulfill whatever that is. And it's different for everybody. But what do you do when you have this vision or you have this idea or you have this belief in something, but it doesn't happen the way you thought it would or the way that you thought it should? God doesn't bring it to pass the way you would imagine that he would. The end result and the outcome is not at all what you thought it would be. A lot of times it's disappointing, or sometimes it's discouraging, or sometimes you feel let down, you feel neglected, you feel forgotten, and you're like, God, like I trusted you, you know, like I did everything that I could do. I thought about everything. I did everything. I said everything. You feel like you did everything that you could possibly do. And you were expecting a certain outcome. And it did not happen. What do you do when you feel hurt, but you trusted God? Here's a few things that I think is important to remember and even consider. When we're trusting God, do we really think about what we're saying? A lot of times we trust God as long as he does what I want him to do. Like, as long as this thing goes the way I think it should go, I trust God. As long as I get what I want at the end of the day, I trust God. As long as my pride, my happiness, my joy, my peace, everything's intact. It's in my box. It's cute. It's the way it should be, how I want it. All of that, I trust God. But we got to trust God through the good as well as the bad. And it's easy to trust God when things are good, right? It's easy. It's so easy when things are going our way, when life is going our way, when door after door is being opened and blessing after blessing is happening. And yes, trust God. Like, God's coming through. But what about the door that closes? What about the opportunity that doesn't happen? What about the prayer that doesn't get answered? What about the situation that wasn't resolved? What about the thing that you're believing in that didn't happen? The goal that you wanted that didn't get accomplished? What about that? Like, do you still trust God? Do you trust God for not only who he is, but what he says? Because he's the same God now, today, tomorrow, forever. He's the same God that was there when it was good, but he's also the same God that's there when it's bad. He's the God that answered the prayer, but he's also the same God that didn't answer the prayer. He's the God that brought that thing to pass for you, but he's also the same God that didn't fulfill the desire that you had. Like, it's the same God in every situation. So do you really trust God? And that's a question that you can really take some time on and think about. Like, do I really trust God? Like, because when things are looking bad, do I fall apart? Does my faith crumble? Do I give up and give in? Do I really trust God? When something doesn't happen the way I want it to, do I throw in the towel? Do I neglect God? Do I turn my back on him? Do I try to do it myself because I don't think God can do it for me, so I go out and try to make it happen on my own? Like, do I trust God even though it's taking 2 months and not 2 days, 2 years and not 2 months? Like, do you really trust God? And trusting God when it hurts is difficult. But you have to remember who he is and what he says. You have to remember what he's brought you through so far. You have to remember what he's done for you so far. You have to remember every other prayer he answered, every time he protected you, guided you, gave you wisdom, healed you, brought you through, took you out of that dark place, gave you the desire of your heart, gave you grace, gave you mercy, forgave you, loved you, comforted you. I mean, the list can go on, right? And in those moments where God doesn't do what we think he should do, God's plan is always better. God knows every little detail. Do you know every little detail? No. Do I know every little detail? No. Does God know every little detail? Yes. And I don't know about you, but I rather the person that knows every little detail to make plans for me. And there's going to be a moment, and it may not happen right away. You know, trusting God when it hurts is about waiting on God when it hurts. And there's going to be a moment that you're going to say, wow, I'm so glad that happened. Wow, I'm so glad I went through that. This is why I had to go through that. This is why that had to be taken away. This is why that had to stop. This is why this didn't happen. Now I know. I thank God that God knows all the little details. And there's going to be a day that you're going to be like, wow. Now this is why I trust God, even when it hurts. Because I know that God's going to work all of this for good. I know that through this, even though it didn't turn out the way I wanted, even though I didn't get what I thought I should, I don't know better. A lot of times that's hard for us to admit. Right? Like, it's hard to admit that you don't know better. It's your life, it's your thing, it's your emotions, it's your dream, it's your goal, it's your aspiration, it's your healing, right? It's your relationship. Like, you know best, but we don't know best. And we don't know all the little details. And we don't know God's plan. And that is why we trust God even when it hurts. So before you feel discouraged, before you feel let down, before you feel like God forgot about you, remember the God that you serve. Remember the God that you believe in. And think, instead of being hurt, say, okay, God, what are you trying to show me in this? What are you trying to teach me right now? Like, what's your perspective in the situation? And think about how you can move forward, even when it doesn't go the way you think it should. And remember, the same God that brought you through countless other things. A lot of times it's things that we even forget, we don't even think about anymore. Because God is just so good and he's always working. And a lot of times it's the things that we miss that really matter. So even when it hurts, even when it hurts, you can still trust God, right? So I hope that was helpful, you guys. I hope it gave you a little encouragement for trusting God even when it hurts. And if you find yourself in these situations of throughout your life where you have gone through things and you have found it hard to trust God and you have found it hard to move forward and to navigate that journey and to really apply that in your daily life, I want to invite you to check out down in the description of how you can have a free one-on-one private chat with me so we can discuss where you are in your Christian walk, what your goals are, and how I can help you. So go down in the description and you can book a free session with me and we can chat about where you are and how we can move you forward on your journey to your own beautiful life. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me a like, comment, and subscribe. I haven't said that in a long time. I made a YouTube video a long time. Go ahead to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.